AITA for dumping my pregnant girlfriend after she accidentally hit me over the head with a frying pan. I'm 25 and she's 23. My girlfriend got pregnant in late November and is now nearing 4 months pregnant. Things were going great until the second month. It just felt like I couldn't please her in any way possible. Anything I did, she would somehow find an issue with it and try to argue with me. I obviously know about how much hormones play a part in this behavior, but some things I just couldn't excuse. Obviously, there were the usual weird cravings and stuff, and I was completely fine with that, but at some point, just got unbearable. A month ago, she filled up her petrol car with diesel, and when she blew up her engine, she just called me and expected me to immediately get off work and go pick her up. I told her my lunch break was in an hour, and if she didn't want to wait for me, I told her I'd order an Uber for her. She just immediately hung up. I tried calling her again after that, but she constantly rejected my calls. I just gave up after the 7th call. I went home later that night, and she immediately started yelling some terrible shit at me. She told me I was a useless man and literally wished death on me for making a pregnant woman wait for a taxi to come pick her up. I tried reasoning with her, but she just locked herself in the bedroom and refused to let me in. I just gave up and preheated some food, watched some Netflix, and eventually fell asleep on the couch. She woke me up a few hours later, asking me if I could get her some ice cream, and I reluctantly agreed. I had to drive an hour to the nearest gas station that still was open. After driving 2 hours for some fucking ice cream at midnight, I came home and found our front door locked. I left the keys inside the house when I left. I called her a million times, tried banging on every window and door in sight, but I didn't get an answer. I wasn't dressed properly, so I ended up sleeping in my car. The next morning, she acted like nothing happened, and I obviously was fuming. I demanded an explanation from her, and she just told me I deserved it for leaving her stranded. I wanted to dump her right then and there, but sadly, I thought that I would only have to deal with this bees for another couple of months, and then she would be back to normal. Things have been heated between us since that moment, so I wanted to lighten up the mood in the house. I got off work early and wanted to surprise her with fish and chips when she got back from her doctor's appointment. When she came back, I saw her smiling for less than a second at the sight of me cooking something for her, but after that second, she went right back to being Lucifer. Apparently, I wasn't cooking the fish properly. I'm a waste of space. Even a blind man could cook better than me. I started tearing up because her words genuinely hurt me. All I wanted to do was make her happy, and this is how she pays me back. She started laughing at me crying and asked why such a big and strong man would cry because a poor little pregnant girl said some mean things. I just lost it. I grabbed her by the arms and told her fuck off and to get out of my house. I remember letting go of her hands for a second and then seeing her reach for the pan I was going to use to cook the fries in. Thank God I didn't put oil in yet. All I remember afterwards is waking up on the ground with her kneeling beside me crying. I remember having the worst headache of my life. Through the pain, I remember asking her what happened, and she just told me that I slipped and fell. At that moment, I didn't care what happened and just wanted to lie down somewhere. She helped me up and guided me to the couch. I remember her scrambling around to find an ice pack, and that's when it hit me. I simply asked her if she hit me with the pan. After hesitating for a bit, she just said she was sorry and she didn't mean it, and she wasn't thinking straight, yada yada. I again told her to get the fuck out of my house. She tried pleading with me, but I told her I'd call the police and press charges if she didn't leave. I guess she got scared, and she just left after that. I called off sick from work the next day and went to the hospital to see if I suffered some head injury. Luckily, I didn't, but I did develop a boil the size of a tennis ball on my head. Throughout all of his, my ex was bombarding me with apologies. I only responded once to say we're over and then blocked her on everything. After coming home from the hospital, I called my mom and sister to tell them what happened. They seemed empathetic, but also told me I should give her another chance since the pregnancy probably made her lash out. I do want to add that before her pregnancy, She never acted like this and was the most loving and caring girlfriend I've had up to this point. She and her dad came over yesterday to come pick up her things from my place. Her dad profusely apologized for her daughter's actions, making me believe that she told him the truth. As for her, she didn't dare to step out of the car and come face me while her dad gathered her things. When I looked at her through my window, I saw how terrible she looked. I guess she hasn't been sleeping much since. I wanted to forgive everything she did and just go and hold her and tell her it's going to be okay. I've been really torn since then. Something makes me believe that all this was probably a phase she was going through and things would eventually just go back to how they used to be. But on the other hand, her actions seem near psychotic and unforgivable to me. But I also don't want to raise our kid in separate households. Should I take her back? Is this really a phase, or is it something deeper?